The beautification of the city of Freeport continues. The officer in charge of Grand Bahama giving an update on crime on the island. And our ZNS News team partnering with corporate Grand Bahama and the community to help baby Reynardo.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is continuing its beautification of the city of Freeport. Tonight, officials say while the road improvements may cause a bit of inconvenience, it is indeed for the benefit of residents and the business community alike. Megan Shepard reports.
If you have to traverse certain areas on Queens Highway or Pioneers Way within the next 4 months, you are being urged to use caution as crews work to improve landscaping and create emergency lanes. Deputy Director and City Manager in the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Troy McIntosh, says that road works officially began on the northern side of Pioneers Way, beginning at Ron's Lane, and will continue just short of Coral Road.
We'll continue from Rhodes Lane all the way up to just short of Coral Road. And so we're looking at putting in, as where possible, emergency lanes as well as a sidewalk. In addition to that, you have a lot of driveways in the area. We'll, as best as possible, begin to improve those as well. Predominantly, we're looking at the arterial roads, which are the main roads, which are highly traveled by not only residents but tourists alike, and so we wanted to begin with those, and then we'll start to transition within the subdivisions. And so the first one, as you know, would have been last year, Queens Highway. We intend to try to have that completed by May, June of this year, and simultaneously this Pioneers Way as well.
Residents are being reminded to drive with due care and caution while in these areas, especially when workers are present. McIntosh notes that while the work may cause some inconvenience, he is asking for patience from the community as work will only last a short time.
A lot of the driveways may be interrupted for a short time. One of the things we want to do different here is once we disturb the area is to have it poured the same day. And so we'll begin to put out flyers this week to residents to advise them of some expected delays and inconvenience, as well as some programs that corporate Freeport is partnering with us to assist residents who are interested in those particular promotions as well. Be patient with us. This is a process. It's going to take a very short time, but again, to be patient with us. Some of the driveways will be impacted, but again, for the benefit of the residents and visitors alike.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And more good news for the islands of the Bahamas and tourism. This time it's Grand Bahama, as Gold Rock Beach in the East wins the Top Beach Award for the Caribbean. As part of the Lucayan National Park, Gold Rock Beach is one of the most visited and sought-after locations on Grand Bahama, with its tranquil surroundings and beautiful sandbars at low tide. Each moment is unlike any other due to the picturesque nature of Gold Rock Beach. It is often selected as the backdrop for numerous movies and commercials filmed here on the island of Grand Bahama. Karen Seymour, director at the Ministry of Tourism on Grand Bahama Island, says Gold Rock Beach has long been recognized as one of the world's best beaches, and this most recent accolade reinforces its standing as one of the island's finest natural assets. The beach is currently maintained by the Bahamas National Trust and is approximately 25 miles from the city of Freeport. You may recall that Green Turtle Key was voted top destination for romance in the Caribbean. Cat Island came in 9th in the romance destination poll, and Elbow Key or Hopetown closed out the top 10 in that same category. Meanwhile, we're getting positive feedback tonight from the Ministry of Tourism's new marketing campaign promoting the islands of the Bahamas. The ad depicts the natural beauty of the islands, and a local marketing executive says the country should reap huge dividends from this new campaign. Here's Megan Shepard.
Marketing Director of Barefoot Marketing, Sarah Kirkby, commending officials at the Ministry of Tourism for a new ad starring musician and Bahamian Lenny Kravitz. Kirkby says that the ad was a good, modern change needed in the country's marketing. She adds that it is fantastic that the ministry is utilizing our own people.
I think it's something we should have been doing from ages ago. I love the ad that we had done originally with the sailboat and the basketball player. Why can't I think of his name? Who dives in? Rick Fox. Oh, I thought that was fabulous. And I think, if we play his ad in key areas, people will see the beauty of the islands. We're not just Nassau. We are so many different out islands that offer so many different choices for people. And I think he gives you that option. He's also got that very cool vibe about him, which I think is perfect. I think they've done a really amazing job with the ad. And right now, based on how social media works, it's there's a short, quick 30-second, and then you can have the longer run.
Kirkby says she is also pleased that the ministry is expanding its marketing initiatives to include more promotions of the Family Islands.
I think they're opening it up to the out islands and offering people what they want a little bit more, which is not so much the Vegas style, all-inclusive. Some people do want that. They're going to want the Atlantis and the Bahamas. I get that. But some people do want the very more relaxed, family-friendly, easy go. I mean, we just won, Gold Rock just won the top 10 beach, which is amazing. And I was on Island FM, and they were asking me about the beach, and I don't think people realize how many miles of beaches we actually have here in Grand Bahama. We're kind of like Abaco or some of the other out islands. We have these huge long stretches of beaches that are not on the highway like they are in Nassau. And so I think these need to be utilized and promoted.
Now, with the announcement of a new cruise port for the islands of Grand Bahama, in addition to potential buyers for the Grand Lucayan Resort, Kirkby says that there seems to be more excitement in the air for what could be next for the island. However, she is admonishing residents to do their part in ensuring the island's success.
I think all that revitalization is what we need, but I think it has to be a group effort. We all can't just sit here and wait for it to come. The biggest thing I got out of the meeting from Carnival was Mr. Guerre's very straightforward talk to us that we can't wait till 2021 for our tourism to improve. We have to make it improve, which means we have to give better service. We have to, and we can't cop out of doing that all the time. And I would like restaurants and business owners to really take that on the nose and make sure that every time you answer a call, every time you make a reservation, every time you deal with a guest, you have to give your best, because it's that impression that's going to bring them back. They have a choice. They have a choice of so many places to go, and we want them to choose to come here, and we want them to choose to come anywhere in the Bahamas.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, police on Grand Bahama say they are noticing a trend of increased criminal activity in the Western District. As a result, police say they have beefed up patrol in that area. Italia Hall reports.
Early last month, an armed robbery took place in the Holmes Rock community. Reports say a couple was held up and robbed in their home. Grand Bahamas Police Chief Samuel Butler admits that there has been a spike in crime in the Western District, but he believes that the police department has a good grip on the persons who may be responsible for these crimes.
Often criminals make their contact and then they run away and hide, but we are certain they won't be able to hide forever. We have the particular one that you spoke of. We have our good tentacles on the ground. We've had several persons in custody for that, and we are still seeking out before we bring closure to that particular matter.
Police are also investigating an armed robbery in the 8 Mile Rock community. Reports say a male culprit entered a business establishment on the night of Wednesday, February 27th, and robbed them of cash. ACP Butler says no one is in custody for that matter as yet.
The residents are aware of who these people are. As I said, many of them are bold enough to speak to us about them. They are certainly being addressed, and we've already devised another strategy that we'll be rolling out as of today in terms of heightening police presence in those little hotspots. And we know that many of those persons are not stranger to our criminal justice system. And so we have persons who are in or out of the criminal justice system, and their behavior continues.
But he had this message for the persons who are involved in these criminal activities.
We just want to appeal to them as individuals to consider what is the things that you're doing. it's not the law enforcement desire to always go out and make an arrest and have you before the court system and have you put away to Foxhill. Most of what you're doing can be managed by you as an individual. And I want them to feel comfortable, to be able to come into the police department to talk about behaviors that they feel as though they cannot control. And I want them to be able to speak with other stakeholders in the community, pastors and other civic leaders within those community, to make sure that they have a connection.
The Assistant Commissioner of Police says it's important for persons to remember that crime does not pay. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, is back right after this.